Welcome guys back from a virtual camp. Today we have a combined camp of you guys in virtual, and then we have our actual live campers here. We are waiting on our guest speaker from the Fort Myers Film Festival to talk to you guys about stop motion movie production. So he should be coming on here in a few minutes. That's why we have our live campers in here as well, so that you guys can both see how stop motion films can work. That being said, I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. I know yesterday your teachers were off, so you should be working on your stop motion films today and getting your sets built, going through the app to make sure you're familiar with how to make your films, and just keep working on your projects, developing them for Friday. And this goes for both virtual and in person. Friday we will be presenting our movies that we make for our stop motion. Just remember, you guys have a couple of different options. You guys can do play objects. You can mold with different things. Anything you have around the house, you can use Legos. You can build your set out of whatever materials you have, plus the materials we provided you guys. So just work with your teachers today to begin working on your sets and getting your filming started. And so if you have any questions, you can reach out to us here at IMAG or ask your teachers, and your teachers can reach out to us. So we will see you tomorrow for our next session with our building our sets and getting our movies started. So we are gonna wait for our gentlemen to join on. And you guys are working as well, just at the same pace as the in-person campers are. Yesterday, the in-person campers, we started our sets and getting our pieces together. So we're gonna just keep plugging along with that, and you guys stay tuned in. And we're going to start our meeting soon.
And hopefully you can see we got some of our campers here, and this is also being recorded. And we have about 45 junior high school students that are participating in a virtual camp program that will see this as well. So with that, let me introduce Eric Raddits. Eric Raddits is the president, CEO, general manager, creator, founder of the Fort Myers Film Festival. Have any of you been to any of the Fort Myers Film Festival events? One of our teachers has. So every spring, usually, but obviously COVID has changed that, but typically every spring, Eric brings in movie makers from around the world to premiere the movies. Have you ever heard of like the Sundance Film Festival or the Cannes Film Festival? Well, Eric puts one of those on right here in Fort Myers and brings in world-renowned movies from all over the world to be premiered here. In addition, in the fall, every week, he lets local filmmakers and other filmmakers have an opportunity every Monday night to premiere their movies to an audience here that maybe wouldn't have otherwise had the opportunity. And I think you choose some of those from those events to be able to participate in the big film festival. So, Eric, our camp today, this week, are creating movies. And this is called our Movie Maker Camp. And they are doing stop action animation movies. And so they're in the process. They're working through it all this week on how to do that and to produce a movie, create a storyboard, create a set, and then actually film and create a movie. And on Friday, we premiere all those movies here at IMAG. So it's a lot of fun, and the kids at home are going to be doing the same thing. And so we're going to have a lot of little cool short movies, and maybe we'll send some of them to you, and you can maybe play them on a Monday night or something like that. But,
No,
so I want to start off. If you want to say a few things, and then I've got a couple questions for you, and then we'll turn it over to the campers.
Sure thing. Well, hello, everybody. I guess you can see me, and I can see you from the side. So maybe just wave hi for all of you who can see me. Okay, so you can see me. Okay, you can all hear me. Okay. Thank you so much, Matt and IMAG. IMAG and the Fort Myers Film Festival have partnered for several years now, and it's truly an honor to be engaged with that organization. I know the importance of what the next generation, if you allow me to call you the next generation, or you brilliant filmmakers and creators that will accomplish, will change the world. And so when you look at it from that picture, it's a big deal. What you're doing, you're having fun, you're learning, you're understanding how to complete a video project, and stop motion animation is truly a great way to do it. I'm not sure what ideas you have, and I do want to see some of your projects, but I will say from my background, running a Fort Myers Film Festival, we're in our 10th year. We've seen a lot of films that are submitted to us from all over the world, as Matt mentioned. And we've had a lot of animated films come to us. And if you think about some of your favorite animated films, not always stop motion, but let's just say animated to start, some of those animated films are probably some of our favorites. And I don't know how interactive I can be, but if I were to say to you, what is your favorite animated film? What comes to your mind? You know, I would be curious what you guys might say. But if you look at the realms of, I want to say, just throw it out there, Lion King, or you know, Aladdin, or Little Mermaid, or Frozen.
Animated movie.
So these films, sometimes they just take a little bit of creativity and a little bit of hard work. And I'm sure Matt's going to work you through how to do it. My advice to you is to have fun. That's very important. Learn from your technique, and then try to measure just how your vision looks like when it's completed. And that will help you to learn and continue to advance. You'll find things you want to improve, and you'll find things that you're very happy with. And that's kind of the part of creation, and the creation of film is you test and try, and you succeed, and you improve. I hope I haven't spoke too long regarding that. I can speak more on that, or I can. I'd love to take any questions from you guys. Would you like to do, Matt?
Yeah, let me. I'm going to start by asking you a few questions. Can you guys hear okay back there? You want to move up here so you can hear? You can move, sit right over here if you want. You're good? Okay. All right, so Eric, you know, one of the things when we teach STEM and look, a lot of movie making is STEM related. A lot of the aspects of making a movie have a lot of relations to science, technology, engineering, and math. And we talk about careers that are available. Can you talk a little bit about some of the careers that are available in movie making? I think we know about actors and actresses and maybe directors, but what other careers are available to students and to people in the movie making world?
Well, one thing that that you mentioned in the movie making world that you can continue to see over and over is creative video editing, for example. Even during the coronavirus, there's a lot of traditional movie roles that aren't being filled. There's not a lot of work being done because they simply can't work in close proximity. But there are still folks who are editing film, editing footage. There's still cartoons being made. If you were to look at the top watched shows right now in the United States for the second quarter, #1 is Rick and Morty, which is an animated show. So you know, and so if you look at kind of what that means is that right now, if you decided that you had the skills to edit filmmaking, or to edit a film, or to edit a cartoon, or to help edit a cartoon in the realms of drawing, creating, coming up with script, content, characters, that you may have a character in your stop motion animation right now that in 10 years could be Netflix's #1 TV watch show. It's not out of the question. It all starts with what you can come up with in your head. So like any place though, across the board, there are places where in the movie making industry, it's having ups and downs because of the coronavirus. But in its peak, video editing means that you'll take video, you bring it onto your screen, you'll add sound, you'll cut it, meaning you'll have the sequence in order, you'll post-production means you'll probably post color, post audio. So if you're experienced in on-set audio, on-set video, video production, video editing, post-video editing, color correction. These are just a few things that may be more something that you could get a job at doing. And this is something that's all over the world, and in pockets of the United States, New York, Los Angeles, Atlanta, will have some of the bigger places where they see a lot of film production and television production, where if you really want to get the film aspect, you can do that. But there's a lot of places here locally. If you go to NBC2, who I know is a proud supporter of IMAG, and you take a look around the jobs that are available, you'll see 7 or 8 people who are sitting doing video editing. You'll see 2 or 3 producers on every show who are making sure that the video is being captured, that the audio is being captured, that the lighting is being correct. You'll see video producers who are going out to the field, who are taking video from everything that's happening, from the pizza parlor just opened up to the kids' ice cream candy shop. So in short, within the video, film, and film production, there is job availability, and a lot of it comes down to how passionate are you about your film, your creative endeavor. So does that answer your question, or no?
No, absolutely. Thanks. The other question is, have you ever had any kids or youth put films into the film festival?
Well, yeah. In fact, we have a student category, so all students are encouraged to submit their film to the film festival at FortMyersFilmFestival.com. Like Matt mentioned, this year we've already taken all of our submissions, and we'll start up submissions probably again for 2021, maybe in September or October. So any of you who'd like to submit your stop motion animation film that you're making this week with IMAG, I'd like to offer and extend a free code for you guys to enter it free of charge, and I'll give Matt the code so you can enter it. But we do have student competitions, student categories, and we get a lot of students who send us their films. Yes, so we do.
Well, that's great. So, I think that's one of the big things that we try to do in these camps is, although sometimes they might think they're just being here to be babysat for the day, our goal is to really expose them to new things and new ideas and opportunities that are out there. But also, that it's not just for adults. This isn't something that you just do later on in life. There's a lot of opportunities now. So we really appreciate that insight that you have and the offer that you have there. So all of you are going to get a lot of training and experience in starting your stop action animation. And if you want to continue on with that and kind of perfect it over the summer, we can we'll work with Mr. Raddits and see if maybe those can be a submission. And we partner all the time, so maybe we can work on something at some point with what you guys are doing. So, do you guys have any questions for Mr. Raddits about filmmaking, about your particular film, maybe an idea that you have? Anything? I know it's early and you're in middle school and your brain isn't turned on quite yet, but any questions?
Yeah, any questions, guys? No question is a silly question. Just ask me anything.
Come on, guys. We're gonna have one question.
Well,
you gotta see
you know.
Here we go.
Okay.
So you said something about NBC2, and does like NBC2 count like as a filmmaking kind of?
That's
like, is it kind of like a movie? Like you do like the same thing when you produce the news as you do with the movie?
Good question. Did
Okay.
you hear that, Eric?
Yes, I did. She wants to know if what they do at NBC2 is a little bit like filmmaking. Am I understanding it correctly?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. It is. So when you are making a film, you are filming things with the camera, and you have footage that you then bring into an electronic editing platform, and then you can turn it into a film that's 5 minutes long, or a film that's an hour and a half long. I don't know what the length for your films will be, but maybe it's 7 minutes long. And that's how you make a film. Now, when you're on NBC, you have to have a segment that's going to run, and say the segment is about the IMAG. So the producer will send someone with a camera. They'll come up to the IMAG. They'll shoot you guys doing your filming. They'll shoot the IMAG, all the wonderful things that you can do at IMAG, and then they'll go back and to bring the film footage to an editing bay. Well, they will then create a piece, which is essentially, you can call it a TV piece, or you can call it a film, or you could call it a short film. But no matter what you're doing is you're taking video, you're filming it, and you're editing it, and you're creating a piece to be aired. So there's a lot of similarities. If I'm answering that to what you can do on it. So right now, if any of you were 18 years old, which I'm guessing you guys are not, since you're in middle school, you'd have to miss a few grades if you're 18-year-olds and still in middle school. So you're probably not 18 yet. But if you're 18 years old and you went over to NBC and you said, you know, I've been editing these pieces that I put on YouTube or just have kept on my computer, and I can edit film, they said, well, we have editing positions that we can hire you to do. Or you say, you know, I've been shooting with my iPhone. If you have a phone, you can shoot video. If you have a video camera, you can shoot video. And I've been shooting interviews with my family or friends, and we specialize in sea turtles or biking or tennis or Pokemon or whatever you guys are into. And then you show them, they say, well, we might be able to use you as a videographer in the field. And NBC2 is a bigger company here, but there's a lot of communities that a lot of businesses who might find that valuable. You know, I do want to add on one thing, unless there's a lot of questions, that often what the process of what you're doing, Matt, and what you kids, if you allow me to call you kids, are doing here in the summer camp is you're not just creating a piece and you're not just learning filmmaking, which is in of itself a beautiful thing, but you're also learning how to create, to have a vision of something and to bring it to completion, which there's a great importance to that with regard to any career that you get into. Can you envision something? Can you bring it to fruition? And that process is something that you'll be able to enjoy at IMAG. And I wish I were there to, I wish I had the time I could just clone myself and do it with you guys, because there's some real fun stop motion animation out there. I like Wallace and Gromit, and you know, if you think of any of the Lego cartoons, they're not stop motion animation anymore, but they're a little bit like stop motion animation. But it's going to be, it sounds like so much fun, and I'm so excited to be able to speak with you here this morning.
Well, we really appreciate you coming on and sharing some of your insight. It sounds like we need to send Mr. Pontius a note that he needs some junior journalists on the NBC2 staff to get a different perspective there. But,
yes.
That's our camp. We'll do a journalism camp maybe at some point here.
That's a great idea.
All right, last chance. Anybody got any questions?
Hi, Eric. I'm Mr. Ward. I teach high school. I'm helping out with virtual camp right now with IMAG. And so, can you speak on how different frames per second, like for their stop motion, how that affects the flow of their film?
You're asking how what affects the flow of their film?
Well, like
different frame rates in a stop action. Are you familiar with familiar with stop action movies and frame rates and how that affects the flow of the movie?
Yeah. So if you can imagine something being just for say I were stop motion animation right now. Here's 1 per second. So that's 1 per second. So if you have 30 per second, it's going to look more fluid. So you have 30 different frames per second versus maybe 1 every 2 seconds would be real slow. Boop, boop, boop. So the more frames per second, the more fluid it's going to be. And I'm not sure what editing program you're using, but the truth is, no matter what frame rate you pick, you can still create something brilliant. I've seen very slow bit rates that may not seem as fluid. In other words, if you have to shoot 50 things of your thing moving, it's going to look a lot more smoother and a lot more like it's not just slowly animating. But I I don't know if that answers your
Yeah,
question.
using an app on the iPad, and they can do 10 frames per second, which I
Yeah.
think they learned really quick. It sounds like a good idea, but if you're doing a 1-minute film, that's 600 pictures. So it very quickly
Well,
becomes work just to do a very short amount of time.
and if you do leave it at 10, remember that every time you move it, you could just do a quick click, you know, move a little click, move a little click, move a little click, move a little click. There goes 6 clicks right there. So just be able to think. I would say your storyboarding is real important, so you know what you're trying to accomplish in the scene. And then I would focus a little less on how many clicks it takes. Get as many as you can, as you have time for. Focus more on where you want the scene to begin and end. Because you could take one scene with 600 clicks of someone just walking or whatever you have your thing going to do. Just move it a little click, move it a little click, move it a little click, and then it'll look more fluid. I don't know if that helps you or not.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, it's early Wallace and Gromit had a very slow bit rate. I don't know what it was, but if you look at it, it's not quickly moving. They had more claymation, so they had to develop the clay, and every time they moved just a little arm, they'd click. So they had, you know, thousands and thousands and thousands of clicks with clay. But it wasn't super fast or super fluid. But you don't need to tell a story to be super fast or super fluid. You need to have a story to tell a story. So make sure you have your story figured out before you try to tell your story.
Yeah, I think today they're working on storyboards. So they're doing their storyboards today, so that when they start filming, they've got that idea of what they want to accomplish.
And storyboarding is so important because you think of your story and then what scenes will make up your story and what will that look like. So you almost have to kind of sketch it out or at least have it in your head when you're storyboarding. Where do you want? I mean, let's say your story is about a hungry caterpillar. Does the caterpillar wake up in his bed in the morning? Does he walk across a leaf? Does he get to a place where he can't find food? Does he interact with any friends that have told him where to find his food? When he finds the apple, how big is the apple? Does he walk up to the apple? Does he get on top of the apple? Does he eat the whole apple? Will you spend a lot of the storytelling of him just eating the apple, or will you tell the story of what it took him to find the apple? You know, so understanding kind of your story will make it more fun, and so you know that's why storyboarding. By the time you get to your storyboard is complete, it's going to help you with the process of the actual video production, because you won't wonder, well, where's this thing going? You'll already know where this thing is going, and you'll know the shots you have to get in order to get your shot done.
Awesome. Well, can we give Mr. Raddits a round of applause and say thank you?
Thank you.
We really appreciate your time and your insight, and I look forward to hopefully seeing one of these guys have something in the film festival one day. And I know local talent is a passion of yours, so hopefully we're helping to develop that talent here, and we look forward to seeing you in person here in the near future.
Anytime. You go get them, guys. You'll do some great work. I'm proud of you already for doing this.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.